Hello students, I hope you will be fit and fine at your home. Today we will begin with second chapter, friction. In the first module of this chapter, I will discuss about friction and its types. You must have noticed when a ball is rolled on the rough road outside the house, it stops after moving across a short distance. And when the same ball is rolled on the smooth floor of a room, it moves through a much longer distance before it stops. The moving ball stops because of the existence of a force due to the roughness of the floor. This force acts between any two surfaces in contact and tries to oppose the motion. It is more between two rough surfaces and less between two smooth ones. Such force is called friction. Thus, friction is the force that opposes the motion when two surfaces in contact move or tend to move with respect to each other. As you have been taught in the first module of the first chapter, forces are of two types, contact force and non-contact force. Friction is a contact force. And the example, as I told you, a ball rolling down the floor slows down and finally stops because of friction. Now the question is, what is the cause of friction? How does the force of friction arise? We all have seen the saw used by a carpenter, which is commonly called RE. When the teeth of two such saws get interlocked, it becomes very difficult to slide one over the other. The situation is similar when we are trying to move one object over another. An object or a surface may appear smooth to our naked eye, but when seen through a microscope, it shows many irregularities. Irregularities are known as projections or depressions, or grooves and ridges. Even the smooth edge of a blade may look somewhat like a saw when seen through a powerful microscope. These irregularities in the surfaces of bodies get interlocked like the saw teeth, and the relative motion between them is made difficult. The rougher the surface, the greater are these irregularities. The opposing force or friction is also greater in such a case. Thus, friction can be regarded as the force arising from the interlocking of irregularities on the surfaces of the bodies in contact. So, we can summarize, however smooth the surface may be, it has some irregularities. When two surfaces slide over each other, these irregularities interlock with each other and prevent the surfaces from moving, giving rise to friction. Now we will discuss about the factors which affect friction. There are two factors which affect friction. First is nature of surfaces. A rough surface has more irregularities than a smooth surface. This results in greater resistance to the motion, that is, greater friction. Second factor is mass of body. A heavier mass will press harder into the irregularities, so there will be greater resistance to motion, that is greater friction. This is why you find it difficult to move heavier things. Now we will discuss about different types of friction. There are three types of friction: static friction, sliding friction, and rolling friction. First, I will discuss about static friction. To move or slide a box along the floor, you have to overcome the force of friction. The friction acting on an object at rest is called static friction. Suppose we want to make a box move and the weight of the box is suppose 60 Newton, and if I am applying a force of 50 Newton, I will not be able to make the box move. But it is that friction, static friction, which is not allowing the box to move. The force required to make a stationary box to just start to move is a measure of the static friction. The maximum value of the static friction is also called limiting friction. If you will apply a force greater than a limiting friction as I told you, the maximum value of static friction. If you will apply a force greater than limiting friction, the box will start moving. If you stop pushing the box when it has started sliding, the box will come to a stop again. Thus, a friction is acting on the box even when it is sliding. This friction acting on an object when it is sliding is called sliding friction. The force required to keep the box moving at the same speed is a measure of the sliding friction. When an object has started moving, the irregularities don't get enough time to interlock, so a smaller force is needed to keep it moving compared to the force needed to move it from the rest. Thus, sliding friction is smaller than static friction. Now, I will talk about rolling friction. A box slides over a flat surface, but a cylindrical object or spherical object rolls over it. The friction acting when an object rolls over the surface of another is called rolling friction. Rolling friction is smaller than sliding friction. Thus, we can conclude that static friction is greater than sliding friction and sliding friction is greater than rolling friction. Liquids and gases are commonly called fluids. The frictional force exerted by fluids is called drag or fluid friction. Fluid friction on an object depends on the shape of the object, speed of the object, and nature of the fluid. Shapes which are narrow at the end and wider in the middle are called streamlined shapes and overcome the fluid friction. Now I will discuss several examples to explain how streamlined shapes overcome the fluid friction. First, I will give you the example for making use of streamlined shapes to reduce friction due to water. In nature, the body of fishes is streamlined such that they experience least amount of friction in water. You must have noticed the body of ships and boats is streamlined so that they experience minimum amount of friction while moving through water. When a swimmer swims in water, he tries to streamline his body as far as possible so that he experiences least friction due to water. Now, I will give you few examples for discussing the role of streamlined shapes in overcoming air pressure. First, nature has shaped the body of the birds in such a way that air offers least resistance and hence they can fly with a lot of speed. Second, the body of aeroplanes is streamlined so that air offers least possible friction. Third, the body of automobiles, for example cars, buses, motorcycles, trains, etc., is streamlined so that air offers least possible friction. Now, I will discuss effects of friction. Friction always opposes motion. As a matter of fact, when a vehicle is moving at a constant speed, the energy spent in keeping the vehicle to move at same speed is utilized in overcoming friction of the road. Friction causes wear and tear in the moving parts of machines. Try to compare the soles of your new shoes with old shoes. You will notice that soles of old shoes are worn out. It is because when we walk, the material of the soles wears out due to friction. Similarly, the tires of all kinds of vehicles wear out due to friction. In fact, all movable parts of all kinds of machines wear out. This in turn makes the machines inefficient or useless. Friction produces heat. Several examples are there which shows friction produces heat. Our palm gets warm when we rub against each other because of friction. Similarly, the caveman produced fire by rubbing a dry wooden stick in a hole of dry wooden block. It is for the same reason that the jar of mixer grinder gets hot when run for a few minutes. In fact, all machines get hot at their moving parts. And very interesting example I am giving you, the meteors, which we call shooting stars, enter the atmosphere of Earth at a very high speed. At such speeds, the friction between a meteor and the air is extremely high. Due to this high friction, the temperature of the meteor rises to such a high degree that it catches fire and completely burns before reaching the earth. In fact, force of friction of air saves us from the impact of meteors coming from the space. Automobiles and engine consume more fuel due to friction because friction opposes the motion. Therefore, consumption of fuel increases. Friction also produces noise. Now we will discuss few problems. What type of friction has been shown in each figure? In first figure, the friction shown is static friction. In figure second, the friction shown is sliding friction. And in the last figure, the friction shown is rolling friction. Now I will give you two questions to find the answer. First question is, the friction between a box and a ground is 70 Newton. Will the box move if a man pushes the box with a force of 60 Newton? Second question is, among static friction, sliding friction and rolling friction, which friction is minimum and maximum? Thank you for your attentive learning. I will see you in the next module of this chapter. Till then, find the answer of these questions. Stay home, stay safe.